Hello, good morning and welcome to another PlanBee live lesson. I've been reading the chat as people have been arriving, and it's good to see some of our regulars back and having a few new people as well, which is even better. So hello everyone, and hopefully we're ready to do some art work today. My name is Abby and I will be teaching today's lesson, which is a Year 5-6 art lesson based all around the artwork of the Ndebele tribe. That's a tricky word to say, but we'll get to some pronunciation later, so don't worry about that. Today's lesson is aimed at Year 5 and 6, but it's more than, if you're a different age, you're more than welcome to join in, younger, older. This is a really nice lesson actually. It's actually quite a relaxing art lesson, so hopefully we have lots of artwork to show at the end of the lesson. Today I am joined by Becky and Emma in the chat, who will be moderating the chat. We do ask parents and adults that children are supervised while using the YouTube platform. The moderators are there to make sure everyone is staying safe and focused, but they do need to be supervised while using this. So let's have a look at the outline for today. Just a quick outline whilst we're waiting for a few more people to arrive. We'll start the session in about 5 minutes, get a quick starter going so we can get to our artwork. We'll have a little bit of independent time. I'm going to be doing some artwork along with you guys, so hopefully we can all share our learning together. There is a time while the children are doing their independent learning where we welcome adults and parents to ask us questions about home learning in general, about this lesson, about where you might want to take the learning after the lesson. Any questions, myself, Becky and Emma are more than happy to help you out with those. So that's the time for those. Then at the end of the session, one of my favourite parts of the lessons is for you to show your guys' work on the screen. So if you are doing your artwork at home, you can take a picture and send it in to homelearning@planbee.com, and hopefully then I can get up on the screen and we can show everybody all our lovely artwork and share it together. And hopefully today there's going to be some really fantastic African artwork going on. So when we get to that part, I'll repeat the address. Emma's just popped it in the chat for me as well. Thank you, Emma. And it's also in the description below the video as well. Also in the description below is the link to the worksheets today. You don't need these, it's not entirely necessary, but it's full of lots of lovely pictures of the artwork that we're going to be using to influence our art today. All you need today really is some pencils, a piece of plain paper, and hopefully maybe some colouring pencils, felt tips, that sort of thing. If you've got paint, brilliant, up to you though, but some colours would be really good as well. So without further ado, I think we can get started. So let me just get the slides up, there we go. Okay, so a quick starter. I'm going to show you this picture. This is a building belonging to one of the Ndebele tribe in South Africa. Wonder what you notice about the building. Is it different to your house? How is it different? How is it the same? And as you look at this picture, I want you to think of some statements. You don't need to know the answer, but I wonder if you can finish these statements. I wonder why. I wonder how. I wonder if. Wonder if you could finish those sentences. You don't need to know the answer. Just thinking about those questions, reflecting. Tell me in the chat or tell your partner at home. Yes, lots of colours, aren't there, Karen? It's a very interesting house. You wouldn't see many of these around where I live, definitely. Different roof, very observant. Excellent. I wonder why they use lots of colours. That's a really good sentence. I wonder how they managed to get all those straight lines in there. Seems quite tricky on such a big canvas like that, doesn't it? Wonder if anyone else has got any I wonder statements that they could share in the chat. Wonder how they made their houses, yeah? Maybe they have tiles for the walls. That's an interesting idea. Maybe they're made of different tiles, because you can see patterns like that in what they call mosaics, don't they? They can piece together different tiles to make patterns like that. Yeah, well done, Bernard, yeah. Oh, the roof made of bear fur. Interesting. You're looking really closely at that roof. I can tell you actually that that's called a thatched roof. It's made of straw, all packed really tightly together on top of one another. Wonder how they use lots of patterns. Excellent. Okay, let's move on. The Ndebele tribe live in South Africa. The tradition of house painting comes from the women of the family. A well-painted house shows that a successful family lives there, and women take pride in decorating these in these bright geometric patterns. I wonder what that word means, geometric. The paints were originally, a long time ago, different types of soil mixed with cow dung to thicken the mixture, and they used chicken feathers as paintbrushes. Nowadays, they might use acrylic paint, and acrylic paints give that really bright colour from the paint. Now that word geometric, I wonder if anybody's said anything in the chat. The word pattern comes to mind yet? Geometric. It might have come across it in maths. Geometric actually refers to the shapes in it. You can see clear shapes. So there's some triangles in there, some rectangles, and some irregular shapes as well. So all of those shapes put together make up a geometric pattern. I'll keep that in mind for our artwork later. Now, I want to introduce you to this artist here. This artist is Dr. Esther Mahlangu. Dr. Esther Mahlangu. Her work includes and celebrates the culture within the Ndebele tribe. She's proud to carry on the traditions of house painting and pattern design, which began in her culture. But she also transferred her work to canvases and other objects. I wonder if you can see from that picture where else she has transferred these patterns to. Good, yeah, lots of us getting those shapes from the geometric. If you have a look, all of her jewellery, her beaded jewellery, follow those same sort of pattern, those colours, those blocks of colour, white and black, all through her jewellery. And she's made special shapes in them too. Excellent. And the clothing itself, the actual robe she's wearing is brightly coloured, which is a very common theme in these patterns that we're looking at today. Now, you can see her here painting a building. All of the lines in her designs are hand-drawn. She doesn't use the ruler to help her, which I think is very impressive. I don't think I can get a straight line when I'm drawing on a bit of paper, let alone all the way across a building. So yeah, she's using big black lines, can you see them? And she's almost outlining all of those shapes, but leaving those big blocks of white colour as well. Mahlangu's work made her an international artist, which means that her art was all over the world in different nations. In 1991, she was commissioned to add her designs to a BMW car, and other artists like Andy Warhol had done this before. I wonder if anyone's heard of Andy Warhol. Her designs have been exhibited in Washington, DC, and have decorated the tail fins of British Airways flights and planes. So, let's look a little bit closer at some of the patterns of the Ndebele tribe. Now, if you've got the worksheets, you can have a look at those as well, but I'll be showing them on the screen too. I would like you to think about 3 or 4 key features of Ndebele artwork. What do you think makes it Ndebele pattern? Is it that they have lots of detail? Is it that they have a certain technique, a certain medium? So do they use chalk or paint, or do they use tiles like we said earlier? What did you see Esther using in those pictures? Think about 3 things that you think are key features, whoops, showing the answers, key features of Ndebele patterns. Got shapes, definitely. Somebody knowing who Andy Warhol was, yeah, he's a pop artist. So have a really close look at this. What colours are they using? Where might you find it? Let's have a look at some different pictures. So we have this one here, which is a bit more of a close-up. Have a look here. What shapes can you see? What patterns? Colourful, yeah, I would agree. Colourful is a really key feature of this, isn't it? Detail, I would agree, yes. Can you see on this one, you've got all the detail here. They haven't just done a white rectangle, they've put those lines through as well. Black, browns and greens, yeah. Bright, I think bright is a very key thing. Pink, purples and browns. Here are some women wearing some patterns that we've looked at, and there's some on the wall behind them. What key shapes can you see? Rectangles, I think, is an important one, but can you notice any other shapes as we look through these? Here's a slightly older building that's been painted. How do they do it? I think mainly they use paint to do this. Do you remember we said that they made the paints using natural materials and cow dung to thicken the paint, and they paint it on their buildings. Arrows is a key one, is a key shape that you can see lots of squares. Let's have a look at another. So this one, you've got this shape here. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 sides. I wonder what shape that makes that. I wonder if anyone knows the name of a 12-sided shape. Triangles. Symmetry. Yes, that is a really good idea and really good observation. A lot of the patterns have symmetry. Yes, the symmetry of the shapes and the patterns in the big way is really important, which makes the artwork actually quite tricky to do. Excellent. Okay, so now is time to have a look, see what answers we've got. So I want you to think about these as you're doing your artwork. I want you to think about those thick, bold black lines around the shapes. But not only the black lines, if you notice on the patterns, you've got these white lines in between the black, which really makes it stand out. They're almost complementary colours, aren't they? The white and black, but they're tones. So they really make each other stand out against each other. That white is really important in the designs. And as someone said, symmetry. Symmetry is so important to make sure everything is in a neat pattern. The bright colours, which lots of people mentioned, and the geometric features. Yeah, it's a little bit like maths and art mixed together, isn't it? Yeah, I like maths. Maths is one of my favourite subjects, so sorry if I'm going on too much about maths. Okay, so we're going to have a go now at doing an Ndebele pattern ourselves. So you need to grab yourself some plain paper, any old plain paper. If you've got a notebook or just some plain printer paper, that would work just fine too. And I think we can give it a go. If you're confident that you know what you're doing, by all means, go and have a go at drawing your own patterns too. I think if I leave one of the patterns on the board, on the screen for you. Which one shall I leave? I think this one. To leave on the screen for you so you can copy some of those ideas to do in your own patterns. Now, if you're not too sure, I'm here to help. Don't worry, we can do it together. So, I'm not sure if you noticed, but if you look carefully on the patterns, they all seem to have a border around the edge. And that's a really good place to start, I think. So with your pencil, and I'm going to try my best to do this without a ruler, but it might be a bit shaky. Not to worry, that's how they do it in real life, so we're going to give it a go. So I'm going to start off drawing myself a border of those black lines. Now I'm just using a pencil at the minute, just to plan out where I want things. So I started, not sure if you can see that on the camera, started with just some straight lines to start my border. Now I've noticed this pattern here on the house, which I think I'm going to copy into my design. And I'm going to try really hard to make this symmetrical too. So can you see that it's got these triangle shapes? This has a horizontal line of symmetry in it. So I'm going to try and add those triangles in to my design now. So starting at the top and having it point down. I wonder if you could do this in your artwork as well. If you feel confident, by all means, try your hand at some of the other patterns you can spot. I wonder which one's your favourite pattern and if you can include that in your artwork. Now on these triangles, if I zoom in a little, can you see that it's got some lines down it? So I'm going to add those in too. And draw the bottom one in. Trying to keep my lines straight as possible. So, just a rough idea at the minute, but there's my first pattern. Not quite symmetrical, so I could maybe just go over that a little bit to make sure that it is symmetrical. But what I'm going to do now, don't worry if you don't have it, but I think to get those bold lines you can also use your pencil to colour as well. But I actually have some felt tip pens, so I'm going to go over my design with a felt tip to make those big bold lines that we saw in the patterns nice and clear. I wonder how you guys are getting on. You don't have to wait until your artwork is finished to send in any pictures. We love seeing you doing your artwork too. Oh, mine's a bit rushed. I'm not taking my time, but you get the idea. So there's my first part of my pattern. You can see it much easier now that I've done it in felt tip. Now, it's up to you. You can either colour as you go, or you can do a whole page of patterns and then colour it in. But it's good to plan out your pattern so that you have it as symmetrical as you can. Wonder which patterns other people are choosing. Let's just have a look at the chat. And by all means, you don't have to do a whole page. You might want to just do a section of each one, and I might do the next section down here and here. You can just choose where you want to do it. It doesn't have to be one big page. Now, don't worry too much if it's not completely symmetrical. If you look at mine, I've not done my lines so that they're symmetrical inside the arrows. I need to pay a little bit more attention on that. But don't worry, because once you've done the other bits of the pattern, you probably won't notice it. So, I'm just going to have it transfer to one of the patterns that I did earlier. Can you see where I've got these patterns from? Whoops, from the pictures? oh, sorry, finding it tricky to find the camera, there we go. So you can see the pattern here that I did just now with you, and I've added some different patterns on, and I'm going to start colouring this section here, and you can see that on my screen at the moment. Now what I want to point out is that white line going all the way around the black. It really makes everything stand out. So I want you to see if you can include that in your artwork. So I'm going to start by just outlining in my colour where I want those white lines to be. It doesn't have to match the colours on the house. You can choose your own colours, and lots of you pointed out the colours that we saw earlier, so pinks and browns and greens and reds. A lot of the clothing that they wear is mainly the primary colours and green, those really bright colours. So don't forget that email address to send them into, homelearning@planbee.com. I'm really looking forward to seeing some of these, because I think you could even use these to decorate other things. So have a look. If you look closely, can you see how I've outlined where I wanted my white line to be? And I've just coloured in the areas where the colour is going to be, and you can see those white lines already making that colour really pop out of the page already. So I'm just going to finish off that colouring, trying to keep it nice and neat. It might help if you're struggling to start off with a rectangle. Can you see how all the patterns are in their own rectangles? And just fill the pattern as you go. And if you look at the picture, there's lots and lots of different, lots and lots of different patterns that you could use. You've got the arrows here, and along here, can you see you've got circles going up the door frame and bits to fill different shapes of the building. This one over here, super simple, a rectangle and some diagonal lines. See if you can have a go at those patterns if you're struggling. And if you want a real challenge, how about giving this one a go, making sure it's symmetrical. Now, those of you that have been able to download the worksheets may have noticed that on the first page of the worksheets, we actually have these templates. I'll just show them quickly. These round templates and these rectangular templates here. And they make a little hut to look like this. Now, I was going to challenge you after today's lesson to see if you can decorate a little 3D model of a Ndebele hut using your patterns that you've practiced this morning, and seeing if you can build that together and send us a photo, because I would really love to see those in 3D once they're finished. So in a moment I'll be checking the emails to see if we've had anybody send in their artwork today and get it shown on the screen. I wonder if people have noticed as well. I've just realised it as I'm colouring. There's not much colour mixing in this, is there? It's all very block colours. There's no gradients of colours. So there's the first part of my image. Can you see those white lines by the black? And I'm going to colour in the middle in a minute. And I think I'm going to use a complementary colour. A couple of lessons ago we talked about complementary colours with Mr. Ryan, in some artwork, and we found out that on the colour wheel, opposite colours are called complementary colours, and they make each other stand out. And a complementary for red is green. So I'm going to see if that really makes my colours stand out. Few people worried about sending in their artwork. Don't worry, I'm looking forward to seeing everybody's artwork today and making sure that everybody feels good about their artwork. I'm really looking forward to seeing them, so please do send them in. I can see we've got a few coming in now. Shall I zoom in on a different part of the building? Here we go. Whoops. So I'll give you a few more minutes and then we'll start showing some of these, some of your artwork. Okay, that's quite a dark green on mine. There you go. I might actually finish this off later. It's a bit like mindfulness colouring, isn't it? Except you're drawing your own patterns, and colouring in all the patterns like this is quite relaxing. I quite enjoy it, so I might carry this on later and fill the whole page. So let's have a look at to see if we've got some coming in. Okay. Ooh, this one's very colourful. Let's see if I can download this one. So this one is from Callie. I'll try and leave up some of the patterns on the screen if you're still working. But Callie has really tried hard with those symmetrical patterns, and she's using a black pencil to colour in some thick lines. Really well done, Callie. And I like how you've picked out different aspects of the design and put them all together. Really well done, Callie. Fantastic work. Great job. Let's see, who else have we got? Oops. Thomas is back. Let's get your picture up. Oops. Thomas, I think you're a budding artist here, aren't you? You join in with a lot of our art lessons. Here we go. Excellent stuff. So Thomas has really thought about his rectangle shape to start with and that symmetrical pattern, and he's already adding in some colour in those triangles. I really like that colour blue. It's a good choice. It matches quite a lot of the blues on the pictures. Well done, Thomas. Excellent stuff. Find another. Got one from Karen, or Karen, sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Sorry if I pronounce anyone's names wrong. Oh, interesting. So we've done some practice work to begin with. Karen's done some practice work to begin with, trying out those symmetrical patterns, and I like your idea of doing the rectangles across your page like that. It makes it so simple to get those shapes. Very good idea. And we've got one of you working here as well. There we go. Excellent work, and I see you're adding some colour in there. You've chosen this grey colour from the pictures. Excellent. Well done. Ooh. Sorry about that. See if we've got some more. Oh, we've lost things. No, we're good. Okay. One from Ryan, who's in year 2. Hi Ryan, thanks for joining us today. See, I told you lots of people could join in. Here is your artwork. And you're noting down lots of different things from the lesson as well. Excellent work. Good job. Ebony, welcome back, Ebony. I'm fine, thank you very much. Ebony's been using some lined paper for hers, which actually might be quite helpful in this case, drawing those rectangles and getting the shapes right. Here's Ebony's work. Sorry, I can't quite work out how to get it to go the right way. If you look at it sideways, well done, Ebony. Some really beautiful colours in there, and you've tried really hard with those shapes as well. You've got the circles and the arrows like I did on mine. Excellent work. Good job. And some more from Lily and Henry. Welcome back, Lily and Henry. Ooh, interesting patterns on this one. You've clearly looked really closely at the patterns on the photos. These circles with crosses in them, I love those. I might include some of those in my drawing later. And some of these symmetrical shapes with the lines going through them and boxes on either side. Excellent work, I like that a lot. And the other photo. Ooh, some very interesting shapes on this one too. So I think this must be Lily's chosen to do hers in a circle and having all of the different pieces sort of come round in that circular shape, but still keeping it symmetrical and geometric in those shape patterns. Very interesting work. Excellent job. I like that a lot too. Great work, guys. Excellent. So just waiting for a few more to come in. As we wait, I can do a bit more colouring. If you're interested in any more colouring pages, PlanBee has lots on our freebies pages. If you just go on our website and typing mindfulness colouring or things like that, there's loads of freebies on there to help out with those. There's also lots of arty ideas on there, some arty freebies. I think there's some quite popular self-portrait bits and colour wheels and things like that to learn about all the complementary colours that I was just talking about. So if you're interested in those, they're all on our website to have a look at. So, wonder which parts I can do next. Maybe I'm going to try some of those shapes that I saw from your artwork. I liked that circle which had a cross through it. I think it had the square in the middle, didn't it? Whoops. See, I'm not taking my time with this anymore and it's going a bit wobbly. There we go. So including that in my design. I can use lots of complementary colours in that one to make the colours really pop out. Excellent. Lovely to see everyone being so positive in the chat. Great. Oh, we've got another one come in. Oh, I love the colours in this one. Let me see if I can get them downloaded quickly. From Holly and Leah. They're downloaded. Here we go. Some brilliant colours in this one. Oh, you can't quite see it. Let me move it up a little bit. There we go, some beautiful geometric patterns in there, and I love this thick black line at the bottom of your triangles here. And I can see you've been practicing in the background before having a go at a final version. Really good work. Excellent job on that one. And again, that beautiful blue in this one. I think Thomas was using the same sort of shade of blue on his one. And you've focused on those triangle patterns that we tried. Excellent job. And I like that you challenged yourself, just like I did, to do it without without a ruler on them. So really good try at challenging yourself. Excellent work. Okay, I think we'll do a couple more photos and then we'll bring the session to a close. Oh wow, we've got the finished artwork from Thomas. And my goodness, you've definitely used your complementary colours. Blues and oranges. This is fantastic. Well done, Thomas. Beautiful artwork. That's really stunning. Good job. And I think we've just got one more from Lola. If I can find, oh, I think it's on the next one. There we go. Here we go. Hello Lola, thank you for joining us again. Look, some more bright, beautiful colours in your artwork. You've tried really hard with those patterns. Let's zoom in so we can see the patterns that you've used. Fantastic. This bit across the top is just beautiful. Well done. You've tried really hard to copy some of those patterns that we've been looking at today. Excellent job. Well done, everybody. Okay, so I think that's just about all of the artwork that we've received and that we have time to look at today. Oh, we've just got one more. I'll quickly do this one because it's popped in just as I'm saying it. Wow, my goodness, someone's got some neon pens from Eva. Let's see if I can get this downloaded. Oops. Ooh, there we go. Here's Eva's pattern. Beautiful colours in this one too, and you've even used those rectangles on the side of your pattern too. Some really bright colours in that one. Very well done. Excellent. Okay, so that just wraps up our session. So, challenge for you guys is to create a whole page of Ndebele patterns if you can. I think I'm going to use that as my relaxing wind down at lunchtime, I think, to help me just clear my mind a little bit. Or you can use the hut templates in the worksheets, which you can find in the description below, to make your own 3D hut, which you can decorate using all these patterns that we've looked at today. And I'd love to see some pictures of those, so please do send those in if you do get around to making one of them. So, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been lots and lots of fun. I've certainly enjoyed it, and I hope you guys have as well. Keep drawing, keep practicing, and we'll see you again in another session. Thanks very much, guys. Bye.